Do you know that Africa is home to some of the most powerful and influential cultures the world has ever seen? From ancient civilizations that shaped global trade and science to warrior kingdoms that resisted colonization, the history of Africa is filled with incredible stories of power, innovation, and resilience. In this video, we'll take you on a journey through the top 10 most powerful African cultures of all time. We'll explore how these civilizations impacted not only the continent, but the entire world. As you watch, think about which culture you believe should take the #1 spot, and let us know in the comments below. Your thoughts and opinions matter, and we want to hear from you. So sit back, relax, and join us as we count down the most powerful African cultures in history. 10. The Berber Culture. At number 10, we have the Berbers, an indigenous group from North Africa who have lived in the region for thousands of years. Their influence spanned across modern-day Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. The Berbers, also known as the Igbo People, are a key force in the history of the Mediterranean and Africa's vast Sahara Desert. They were fierce warriors, skilled in horseback riding, and known for their strategic military prowess. During the rise of the Carthaginian Empire, Berber warriors played a vital role in bolstering Hannibal's army against the Roman Empire. Their mastery of trade routes across the Sahara also meant they controlled the movement of gold, salt, and other precious goods from West Africa to the Mediterranean world. This cultural influence extended to their architectural designs, notably the xuas, fortified villages made of stone and clay, which are still visible today. In modern times, the Berber people have maintained a distinct identity, protecting their language and customs. They remind us of the rich cultural fabric of North Africa and the legacy of resilience that continues to this day. 9. The San People. At number 9, we recognize the San People, also known as the Bushmen, one of the oldest continuous cultures in human history. Originating in southern Africa, the San have lived in harmony with nature for over 20,000 years. Their deep knowledge of the land, plants, and animals has allowed them to survive in some of the harshest environments on Earth, like the Kalahari Desert. The San culture is revered for its intricate rock art, which dates back thousands of years and offers insight into their spiritual beliefs, hunting rituals, and way of life. Their oral traditions and storytelling are among the richest in the world, transmitting knowledge from generation to generation. Their language, consisting of unique click sounds, stands as one of the most complex and distinct forms of communication. Although modern pressures, such as land dispossession and industrialization, have affected their way of life, the San continue to preserve their cultural identity. Their story is one of survival, adaptability, and the deep wisdom that comes from living in harmony with the natural world for millennia. 8. The Zulu Kingdom. Coming in at number 8 is the Zulu Kingdom, one of the most powerful militaristic cultures in southern Africa. The Zulu are renowned for their military strategies, leadership, and the indomitable spirit of their warriors. Under the leadership of King Shaka Zulu in the early 19th century, the Zulu Kingdom expanded rapidly, unifying numerous smaller clans and becoming a dominant force in southern Africa. Shaka Zulu revolutionized warfare in Africa, creating new battle tactics such as the bullhorn formation, which allowed his armies to encircle and overwhelm enemies. His military innovations gave the Zulu an edge against both African rivals and European colonists. The Zulus' resistance during the Anglo-Zulu War of 1879 is legendary, with the Battle of Isandlwana standing as one of the most significant victories by an African force against a British army. The Zulu culture is not just one of warfare. It is rich in ceremonial practices, dance, music, and art. Their traditional beadwork, which carries specific meanings and is used to convey messages, is admired around the world. The Zulu people remain a significant cultural group in South Africa, and their influence on the nation's politics, identity, and heritage is undeniable. 7. The Kingdom of Mali. At number 7 is the Kingdom of Mali, one of West Africa's most legendary empires. Founded by Sundiata Keita in the 13th century, Mali rose to prominence through its wealth, learning centers, and powerful rulers, especially the world-renowned Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, often hailed as the richest man in history, elevated the Mali Empire to international fame during his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, distributing so much gold along the way that it affected the economies of the regions he passed through. Mali was a center of learning, especially in the city of Timbuktu, which housed some of the world's oldest universities and attracted scholars from across Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. The empire's control of key trade routes allowed it to dominate the gold and salt trade, making Mali one of the wealthiest and most sophisticated societies in the medieval world. The influence of Mali on West African culture is immeasurable, from its contributions to Islamic scholarship to its architectural marvels, like the Great Mosque of Djenné. The legacy of Mali continues to inspire, representing a time when African empires stood as global beacons of knowledge and prosperity. 6. The Ethiopian Empire. Next, at number 6, we have the Ethiopian Empire, a civilization that has stood as a symbol of African independence and resilience. Ethiopia, one of the few African nations never colonized by European powers, boasts a rich history that dates back to the Kingdom of Aksum in the 1st century AD. Aksum was one of the great civilizations of the ancient world, controlling trade routes between Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, and the Mediterranean. The Ethiopian Empire is perhaps most famous for its early adoption of Christianity in the 4th century, making it one of the first Christian nations in the world. Ethiopian Christians, particularly through the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, developed a unique form of Christianity that blended indigenous African customs with biblical traditions. Ethiopia's strength was demonstrated in 1896 at the Battle of Adwa, where Emperor Menelik II's forces defeated the Italian army, preserving Ethiopian sovereignty. This victory became a symbol of resistance and hope for many African nations under colonial rule. The Ethiopian Empire's cultural, religious, and political contributions continue to be a source of pride for Africans and members of the African diaspora. 5. The Ashanti Empire. At number 5, we move to West Africa with the Ashanti Empire, a powerful and centralized state that dominated the region of present-day Ghana. The Ashanti, known for their wealth and skilled military organization, established an empire that flourished from the late 17th century into the 19th century. The Ashanti's power stemmed from their control of gold resources, earning them the nickname the Land of Gold. They also played a central role in the region's trade networks, dealing in gold, ivory, and slaves. The Ashanti Confederacy was built on a strong sense of unity, symbolized by the golden stool, a sacred symbol of the Ashanti nation and their rulers. The Ashanti were formidable opponents of British colonization, waging several wars against British forces throughout the 19th century. Their resistance, coupled with their sophisticated governance and legal systems, set the Ashanti apart as one of Africa's most resilient cultures. To this day, the Ashanti Kingdom, with its traditions and royalty, remains influential in modern Ghana. 4. The Igbo People. At number 4, we find the Igbo people of Nigeria, one of the most industrious and enterprising cultures in Africa. Known for their decentralized political structures, the Igbo are often seen as champions of individualism and democracy in African culture. They have a long tradition of small, self-governed communities without centralized kings or emperors, favoring a system of governance based on consensus and collective leadership. The Igbo are renowned for their achievements in trade, agriculture, and craftsmanship. Historically, they were among the most advanced agricultural societies in Africa, known for yam farming and ironworking. Their art, particularly the intricate designs in their masks and sculptures, is celebrated worldwide. Even in the face of colonial disruption, civil war, and the Biafran conflict in the 1960s, the Igbo culture has demonstrated remarkable resilience. Today, the Igbo people are a vital force in Nigeria's economy and politics, with a strong diaspora presence contributing to global business and intellectual circles. 3. The Benin Empire. Ranking third, we have the Benin Empire, known for its extraordinary artistic achievements and powerful military organization. Located in present-day southern Nigeria, the Benin Empire flourished from the 13th to the 19th centuries. Its capital, Benin City, was one of the most well-planned and impressive cities in the world at its height, featuring massive walls and advanced urban planning. The Benin Bronzes, a series of plaques and sculptures made from brass, are among the finest pieces of African art ever created, showcasing the empire's advanced metallurgy and artistry. These works depict the Obas, kings of Benin, warriors, and important historical events, reflecting the grandeur and sophistication of the empire. Benin was a major player in the West African trade network, particularly in the exchange of goods with Portuguese traders during the 15th century. The empire's military prowess and its ability to defend its territory from European encroachment for centuries speak to the strength and organization of its rulers. The legacy of Benin's art and governance continues to inspire admiration and scholarly interest around the world. 2. The Kingdom of Kush. At number 2, we recognize the Kingdom of Kush, an ancient civilization located in what is now Sudan. The Kushites ruled vast territories along the Nile, from Nubia to Egypt, for over 1,000 years, starting in the 8th century BCE. The Kingdom of Kush was highly influenced by its Egyptian neighbors, adopting and adapting many elements of Egyptian culture, including pyramid building and hieroglyphic writing. One of the most notable periods in their history was when the Kushites ruled over Egypt as the 25th dynasty, sometimes referred to as the Black Pharaohs. During this period, they united Egypt and Kush under one rule, reviving Egyptian culture and establishing a golden age of prosperity. The Kushites, however, were not mere imitators of Egyptian civilization. They developed their own rich traditions, including Meroitic writing, their distinct form of hieroglyphs, and a unique architectural style. The pyramids at Meroe, built during the height of the Kushite kingdom, are smaller than their Egyptian counterparts, but more numerous and intricately designed. Kush was also a formidable military power. The Kushite kings led several successful military campaigns and established a strong navy to control the Nile. The kingdom's wealth came from its control over valuable trade routes, dealing in gold, ivory, and other resources. The strength and longevity of Kush stand as a testament to its influence, shaping the political and cultural landscapes of Northeast Africa for centuries. 1. The ancient Egyptian civilization. At the top of our list, claiming the number 1 spot, is ancient Egypt, arguably the most iconic and well-known African civilization. Spanning over 3,000 years, from approximately 3100 BCE to 30 BCE, Ancient Egypt's achievements in architecture, mathematics, medicine and governance have been studied and admired for millennia. Known for the construction of the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Sphinx, and the temples of Luxor and Karnak, ancient Egypt's architectural feats are still some of the greatest wonders of the ancient world. Egypt was a cradle of scientific knowledge. Its scribes and priests made groundbreaking advancements in astronomy, geometry and medicine, with texts like the Ebers Papyrus, providing some of the earliest written medical knowledge. Their religious beliefs, centered around a pantheon of gods and the concept of the afterlife, deeply influenced their art and culture. Pharaohs like Ramses II and Cleopatra became legendary figures, representing the height of Egyptian power and culture. Ancient Egypt also had a profound influence on later civilizations. The Greeks and Romans revered Egyptian knowledge and incorporated much of it into their own traditions. The concept of centralized government, divine kingship, and monumental architecture can all trace roots back to this powerful African civilization. In conclusion, Africa's cultures have shaped the world in countless ways, from the scientific advancements of Egypt to the military prowess of the Zulu and the artistic achievements of Benin. Each of these cultures, whether through their political might, economic strength, or cultural contributions, left an indelible mark on the continent and the world. They remind us that Africa has always been a land of innovation, resilience, and profound influence. But do you agree with this list? Perhaps you think other African cultures deserve a spot among the top 10. Should the Songhai Empire, the Yoruba, or the Great Zimbabwe be on this list? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know if you think we've missed any important cultures. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share where you're watching from.